In the world of tax software, Nomi is a standout HMRC approved commercial software supplier dedicated to making individual tax return filings seamless. Our strong reputation reflects our commitment to delivering a top-notch solution for UK self-assessment software requirements. Nomi has been carefully crafted with a focus on tasks and workflows. We recognize the ever-changing needs of accountants and bookkeepers and have integrated features that provide maximum control over your day-to-day activities. In this video, we are going to cover the setup of personal tax returns and how we can utilize the integration of personal tax returns with different modules and save time and effort. We will touch base on the key areas such as adding the individuals or importing them in bulk. Next is importing the tax returns. After this, we will see how we can send a tax questionnaire to the client and get data from them. Under the work pool, we can assign the records to different team members. The next is creating the email templates and scheduling the emails so that software can send emails on your behalf. Under the HMRC data setting, you can generate the tokens and get the data into the individual's record. After this, we will see how the data is imported from the tax questionnaire into individual tax returns. You can also get the data from HMRC into tax returns as well. The next will be linking the tax return with different modules in Nomi. That is getting the dividend information from bookkeeping into the dividend income section, importing the data into the employment form from the payroll module if you are processing the payroll for that individual in Nomi, linking the sole trader accounts from the final accounts module and populating the self-employment form, and then linking of individuals from the partnership tax record and getting the data into partnership supplementary form. After completing the tax return, you can review it and send this to the client for e-sign and get their approval. Once approved, you can then file the tax return to HMRC. The first step is to add individuals, and for that we will now navigate to the clients list. As the name suggests, it will show all the individuals you are dealing with. In the top right corner, it shows you different labels through which you can add and import the clients, and you can export the data in the form of CSV and import tax returns as well. Just below that, various filter options are provided which help you get information on the clients based on submission status, work status, tax due, payment on account, name and UTR number. You can also access the record from here by clicking on an individual's name, and it will redirect you to their tax return dashboard. Now we will click on new client, and as we click on new client, we are redirected to the screen where we'll have to enter the UTR number. Now let's say in any given case the UTR number is not available, so we can tick the checkbox. UTR number is unavailable. Then we can provide the first name, last name, date of birth, the gender we can update, and we can update the address details, the country postcode and the phone number, email, the NI number, the taxpayer status with the UK, Scottish or Welsh, the tax code as well. Any personal reference number you want to give, you can do that also. And then the rest of the fields, like what is the status that is active or inactive. Later on, if the client is not required on the list, you can mark them as inactive as well. And what is the starting tax year for this particular client. If you have to file any previous tax returns, then you can start from there. And here the tax office drop down, you have to set this to self-assessment. Now, once you click on save, the record is created, and this is a manual way like to create the record. The another way is to import the clients. So we'll click on import clients here, and on this we get a sample file. So we can download the CSV template. In the CSV template, we have to again update the data. The sample data is provided in the template file. You can take help of that sample data. You can update all the information, and then you can import the file into the software, and all the records that are on that list get imported, and you can import all the individuals. Once all the individuals are imported, they'll be listed on the screen, and you also have an option to import the tax return. So you can click on import tax return, and similarly as you have imported the client, you can also import the tax returns for them. Now, after adding the individuals or importing them, the first step in Nomi Personal Tax is to send the tax questionnaire to individuals so that we can collect the data and then import it directly into the tax record. To send the tax questionnaire, you need to click on the label Send Tax Questionnaire on the dashboard, and you will be redirected to a 3-step window where you have to first choose the audience, that is the individuals whom you want to send the tax questionnaire. So let's say we take example of Paul. We'll select Paul here and click on next. So as we've selected the individual, now we are on a screen where we can see the email template and which is already present. In case we want to customize, then we can do so under the email templates section, and from here we have to proceed on to the next and final screen, that is the confirmation screen. Here you can see all the 26 questions which are a part of the tax questionnaire, and you can add more questions as required. You can then send this to the individual and they receive an email which contains a link. They can click on the link and are redirected to a web page where they can access the questionnaire by entering their date of birth. Once they reply and send it over, you will be informed through an email, and then you can import all the information directly into the tax record of that individual. This again saves a lot of time as you don't have to do any manual data entry. In case they do not respond, then you can send them a reminder. Then we have work pool. So work pool allows you to assign the client records to the team members, and it also helps you keep the track of the current work status. You can filter between different members and check how many records are assigned to them and what they are doing with the assigned records. This helps you take necessary action on time if anything is being deviated and it seems that will not be completed within a stipulated time. Then email templates are there, so you can also create the email templates of your choice, and whenever you are sending any emails, you can choose the email template and it will populate all the information. Then schedule email we have. So on the schedule email, you can use the filter options and then search for specific records with the status based on questionnaire, submission status, work status, tax due, payment on account, name, and the tax year. Now, based on the above statuses, you can schedule the email, and the software will send the emails to different individuals in case like they have not answered the tax questionnaire or some data is required from them. So you have to just click on the schedule email, the pop-up will appear, and in this pop-up you can then use the template which you have created. The template will get populated and you can then schedule on which date and time this should be sent. All the data will be there. You can add attachment as well and then click on schedule. After this, we have HMRC data setting. So HMRC data setting is an option through which you have to first log in online through your agent credentials and generate the tokens. Once you generate the tokens, then after that, you can then import the data directly from HMRC into employment forms, pensions, NICs into the tax record of the individual. We have also designed a mobile app for your clients, and you can then set them up as a business user and give them free access to Nomi. The mobile app sends real-time push notifications for data requests and tax return status updates. You can bypass email hassle by sending tax returns and calculations. It also facilitates document e-signing directly from the mobile app with automatic storage in the web application. And you can also empower your clients with a clear visibility of their tax dues, payment deadlines, and the process for payment to HMRC. So they can log in here, they can see the key figures, they can view the tax return, they can make the tax payment, check the current tax return status. All these details they can do from here. So this is what we have in the Nomi self-assessment mobile application. Now we'll move back to the individual tax return dashboard, and for that we'll again click on client list and then we'll click on a record. So redirects us on the dashboard where we can see the current status of the tax return. So right now the current status is response received, which means that we had earlier sent a tax questionnaire. The individual replied to that, and now it has changed to response received. The key figures are displayed, that is total income, taxable income, and tax due. The work status notes are updated as and when any changes are made, and you can also enter any internal notes if you want to. Now the first option here is to import the data from questionnaire. So whatever questionnaire we have sent and the client has responded to that, so we can import the data. We'll click on import data from questionnaire. Now on this screen, we can see that we have received the data related to the employment income. And if we want to import this data, then we can click on save. And as we click on save, this data gets updated into the employment page. So any data like related to private pension, rental income, bank interest, dividend, state pension, foreign income, if the client has updated this, then we can directly import this into the tax record of that particular individual. Now the next is get data from HMRC. So we will click on get data from HMRC on the dashboard. Now as we click on get data from HMRC, then on the screen we can see that we have data related to employment, pension, job seekers, allowance and NICs. So any data will get listed on the screen and we can then update that data directly into the tax record by clicking on save. So employment form again can be updated to this. So if HMRC holds any information, then we can again update that information directly into the tax record of the individual. Now we'll move forward with another linking, that is a dividend linking with the bookkeeping under the income section. So here we click on income and then click on dividend. The dividend income can be further linked with the bookkeeping module and you can fetch the dividend information directly into the personal tax return. For this, you have to first issue a dividend under the bookkeeping module for the director or the individual, and you will have to then click on link dividend, and in the pop-up you will see the name, and then you will have to click on the link and the data will be fetched from the bookkeeping module. So we can see on the screen amount of £25,000 is there, and then we can click on save. Next we have income from property, that is the multiple property wizard. So you can fill in the income related to property under this section, and there are two ways to update the data. The first being entering the data on the summary screen. In case the individual has rental income from multiple properties, then you can use the multiple property wizard here and record the information for different properties. Later you can also check the residential finance cost computation in the documents section. Now we'll move to the employment section, and you can populate the data in employment section if the individual is in employment with one or more than one employer. You can click on the link employment, and a pop-up will appear where you can search for the individual if they are employed in any of the companies for whom you are processing the payroll in Nomi. In case they are employed in two different companies, then the record will appear twice and you can link the record with both the employers. So you have to just click on link and the record will appear. Now we can also see on the screen that this data we have fetched from the tax questionnaire. So through tax questionnaire also we can get the data here, and apart from this we can also fetch the data from HMRC. So if there is any information which HMRC holds with regards to the employment of that individual, then we can get the data from HMRC, and that data also is populated here. Now we'll move to the self-employment. So for sole trader businesses, we can record all the data in final accounts, and then whenever we are preparing the personal tax return, it can be linked to the self-employment form. This avoids duplication of data entry at various sections and saves a lot of admin time. After linking the information, if you make any changes in the final accounts of the sole trader, then it is updated on a real-time basis and you don't have to relink the accounts. So for that, you have to click on link business, and then here you can see the name, the details. Right now the data is not updated, that's why it is not showing on the screen. We have to just click on link, and as we click on link, the record is then linked with the particular, and here we have to first give a business description and then we can click on link. As we click on link, it will link all the information from the final accounts module into the personal tax return. Now for all the linking purpose, we have to keep only one thing in mind, and that is the name should be identical to the individual. So here the name is Bunny, so the same name should be updated there as well. Like in case of sole trader, the sole trader name should be that. So in case of like the employment, whenever we are fetching the data from the payroll module, then also the name should be identical. So everywhere the name should be identical, and then only the data is fetched directly into the tax record of that individual. Now these data linking options are very useful for accountants, as it helps them in reducing the turnaround time on each tax record. It also helps them automate everything and encourages them to file more tax returns and generate more business every year. Then we have the partnership form. So under the partnership form, if the individual is partner in any of the partnership firms for which you are filing a partnership tax return, then all the information can directly be linked and updated into the partnership supplementary form. What you have to do here, you have to just click on link individual in the top right corner, and as you click on link individual, then you can again click on link on the screen. And once you link this record, and once you click on link on this record, then the data is fetched directly into the partnership supplementary form. So after completing the tax return, we can move to communications, and we can then send this For e-sign, we have to just click on this, and from here we can send it to the individual. They can then they will like receive an email, and in that email there is a link. So the customer will click on that, and they're redirected to a web page where they can sign the personal tax return by clicking on the tab. So on the pop-up, they can upload a scanned signature, draw the signature, or type in their name and choose a font. And as soon as they accept the document, you will receive an email with a signed copy, and the same is also uploaded under the document section. So you can also schedule the emails from this section, send SMS and send emails with different attachments. Under documents, you will find the signed self-assessment uploaded, and in case you want to upload any work papers, then you can do it under the documents. It also gives you various documents such as detailed calculations on student loan repayment, high income child benefit charge, capital gain, self-employment, residential finance cost computation, and you can download all the documents from here and also email them as attachment to the client. After this, you can review the tax calculation, and it will show you the summary, how the tax is calculated, and then you can review the self-assessment. So you can review the tax return here. You can download it as well if you want to. And once you review the tax return, you can then submit this to HMRC. So to submit the tax return, you will have to click on submit to HMRC, and you will have to lock the return, then click on validate submission, which is nothing but a test submission on HMRC server. And then after that, you can click on submit to HMRC, which is an actual submission. So you can make a submission from here. If you've already filed, you can click on mark as filed, and you can provide your comments. Then you can also file an amended return if you want to. And if you don't want to submit this, you can click on not to submit. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can reach us by email at support@nomi.co.uk or by phone at 020-3021-2326. Alternatively, you can also book a training session with us, and we'll cover in detail everything for you. Thank you for considering Nomi.